Welcome back, everybody. We are Beyond Movies. I'm Callum. That is Kyle. You're seeing us again for 2 days in a row, and that's a good thing. We got some big news that we can't skip today. So, Kyle, how are we doing?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Now, uh, we've got some big news coming out of Lucasfilm. I think everybody's going to be very happy about this. Uh, Kathleen Kennedy has a lot of people saying she's stepped down. A lot of people saying she's been fired. Kathleen Kennedy has retired, so she's not producing at all anymore. Which, when I looked at that, I thought she's retiring, and I looked at her age, and she's 71 years old. So fair enough, retire. But we know a lot of people are going to be happy about this because of her. I don't want to say Yeah, I'm going to say her mismanagement of the Star Wars IP. She's been in charge of Star Wars since 2013, since Disney bought it. But then, a lot of people forget that she was George Lucas's choice to run Lucasfilm. And a lot of people just like to shit on Kathleen Kennedy. And yes, she has done some idiotic, terrible mistakes. And it's more of like a guidance thing. She had no guidance for Star Wars. She didn't have a plan for Star Wars. Her plan was, let's just make Star Wars. And you can kind of see that. But, Kyle, everyone's going to be making videos like this today, shitting on Kathleen Kennedy. So, but I want to mention some of the good things she's done because I don't feel like enough people are going to mention that. Yes, she wasn't the best person to be in charge of Star Wars, but she did do some good things as well. So, first of all, Kyle, let's get your thoughts. She's retiring. She's stepping away. I don't want to know who you think should fill the position yet because I feel like that could be a topic for another day. Who should fill the
Dave
position?
Filoni.
Yep, Dave Filoni. But
It's not up for discussion. It
yeah,
is Dave Filoni.
yep, yep. So, are you happy she's retiring? Are you happy she's no longer going to be involved with Lucasfilm?
I I feel like there's more negative than positive when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy,
Definitely.
unfortunately. And
In her Star Wars career, she has got a
yeah,
massive long producing career and will go down as one of the greatest producers of all time. Just got this bad Star Wars bump at the end of it.
yeah, but we can't all put the blame really on Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, she is the one that kind of makes the decisions, but she has been given. She's more like given choices. That's what it kind of looks like to me. It's not like she's saying, "Oh yeah, let's make this, let's make that." She's sort of like, it feels like she's being told by Disney what they want and where to keep it at, and she's done her best with it. But unfortunately, it's just not concluded to anything really substantial, which is kind of sad, really. And like you said, George Lucas did, pick her as
Yeah,
the next person to do it, but I get why Dave Filoni wasn't picked. He did some amazing stuff in the Clone Wars and obviously Rebels, but
lack of
when it
experience.
when it comes to managing the whole IP, because that's what she basically did. She handled
Yeah,
the movies, the Disney Plus shows, and things like that. So it's a big, big responsibility to put on someone's shoulders. And if that was the case for like Dave Filoni, I know we just said that it should be Dave Filoni that takes over, but Dave Filoni is very much in the creative aspect of it, and he has good control of it. But he's also the creator of these characters, so it's
yeah.
it's it's a different playing field when it comes to Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy. But I know there's a lot of Star Wars, fans are gonna just be very happy about this.
Which
I
I'm happy
sorry,
about it,
I'll
but
say this. I think that we have to wait, like we have waited with Marvel, to see any sort of real change. Because if there isn't real change, then Kathleen Kennedy wasn't the big problem here. It's something else going on. But that's where I'll stand with it. I'm grateful for the somewhat good stuff we have gotten, but at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, I'm okay with this.
Now, look, but that's the thing. Everything good and everything bad Star Wars, you've got to give her credit for. That's happened while she's been in charge, because nothing happens without her say so at Lucasfilm. So, you know, you got to give her credit for Rogue One. Kind of pulled that one out of the bag as well a bit. Rogue One. It's Gareth Edwards was directing it. Then they got someone else in to direct it. It seems like they've had a big trouble with directors. Lord and Miller were doing Solo, but then were completely on a different page, and then got Ron Howard to come in and finish Solo. Um, Colin Trevorrow was supposed to do Episode 9, Duel of the Fates, and then they didn't want to do that, and then we got back J.J. Abrams. And there's always been a lot of promise with Star Wars. It's always been, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. How many Star Wars films have been announced over the past 6 years since Rise of Skywalker? And we ain't had a single one. We know, obviously, that we're getting Mandalorian and Grogu next year, and cameras are already rolling on that, so we know we're getting that, but do we know we're getting that as well? that's that's another thing. So yeah, she has had a bumpy ride at Lucasfilm. It hasn't been as perfect as perhaps she liked. But do you know what? She's retiring, and good on her, because like I say, everything good and everything bad that's happened at Lucasfilm, you've got to give her credit for. It's all right just going, we get a show like Acolyte and going, oh, fucking Kathleen Kennedy. But then you get like a season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian and Andor, and you go, oh yeah, nothing to do with Kathleen Kennedy. It still is something to do with Kathleen Kennedy. So, yeah. But Kyle, I'm with you. Dave Filoni should definitely be taking on the.
That's
Do
not
you know?
Dave Filoni, by the way. That's just
No,
a musician.
no, that's Diego Luna. Do you see now that James Gunn's kind of opened the door for this co-CEO thing of, like, Peter Safran does the business, James does the creative? Do you kind of think maybe Star Wars might go, all right, let's get Dave in there as name for our creative, and let's find a really good, producer who's been with the company for a long time who can just handle the business aspects of it.
I
And I don't see it being Jon Favreau. I don't see him being tied to Disney.
No, so with Jon Favreau, obviously, he's very good in the director's chair.
Very.
Obviously, he made Mandalorian, and he also directed a couple episodes. But this was ultimately like his baby. Also, kind of Dave Filoni's as well. I
Well,
guess
it
you
were
could
both
say
of those. The
it was
worked
both.
really
Yeah,
closely together.
it was a combined effort. So what I'll say is, I feel like Marvel's got one. It's got Kevin Feige. DC's got two. You got James Gunn and
Peter
you've
Safran.
got Peter Safran. I feel like Star Wars is such a big IP that why not go for a trio? Have someone else there, because you could have Jon
Yep.
Favreau, you could have Dave Filoni, and you could have someone else that's more on the business side of things who can sort of tell these guys this is what we want from the creative aspect of it, because I don't want to bring away Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni from their creative things. I don't want them to be all about business. I still want them involved heavily and creating new lore, creating new characters, all new different things. That's where I stand with it.
Well, yeah, because Star Wars already has. I don't know if he's still there. Someone in place to keep everything canon, if you know what I mean. Like, who's got track of like the entire timeline. I believe his name is Pablo Hidalgo, and he's, when Disney bought him and was like, right, everything's canon. And this guy was brought in to just streamline everything. So there's already sort of that person there. But I don't see why Dave can't be creative, director in name alone, and then have someone sort out all the boring shit he don't want to do. But yeah.
One way.
But yeah, like I say, but before we end this topic, you know, just go back and look at Kathleen Kennedy's career before everyone's like, oh, she ruined Star Wars. Go back and look at her career. She's been involved with some great projects, and it's clear now that Star Wars obviously wasn't the thing for her, but she still did some good while she was there. She did a lot more bad than she did good, and she couldn't hold down a project and hold down a director, but she still did some good. So, trying to be as nice as we can here.
Soften the blow a little bit.
Yeah. But anyway, Kyle, speaking of soft blows,